Sports Shuffle Mayhem draft number 2. I'm Flying Ryan Gilchrist along with, as always, joining us for his second Mayhem draft. Over there in this corner, somewhere over here, is Zach. And then
just good old Zach.
Good old Zach. And then our Mayhem master, the guy bringing the pain. That's my brother-in-law, Rob. He is live draft streamed a 16-teamer, so he has dealt with pain. Now he's going to unleash some.
I will be a benevolent God, but there will be sacrifices.
Yes. So it's going to work out a little differently than last time. Rob is going to have a pick that he can make for any of us. He's also going to give each opponent a pick of the other players. It'll make sense as we go through if it's not clear now. There will be no, hey, change your pick option this time. Still 3 power-ups, just works that third one a little bit differently. And again, guys, try and stay in the ADP range for your picks for other people. Don't just be like, it's the 3rd round, I'm going to go and get you Jeff Wilson. Like, let's try and be realistic on this one. So, pick timer is set for 10 minutes. Rob is going to be drafting from the 1 spot. It's going to be on auto. Joel from number 3. I'm at number 7. And then Zach at number 11. Spread them out so there couldn't be too much carnage between the 3 of us. And hitting the start draft button now. And you're not on auto in this one.
It should be on auto.
There it goes. Jamar Chase and Christian McCaffrey. Jamar Chase number 1. Ooh.
Yeah, surprised it took that over Jefferson.
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into it, but that's the direction we decided to go in. So,
so much thought.
Oh yeah.
For my first pick, I would like to select one Justin Jefferson. I don't think you really need to read too much in, as most people, if he falls to me, you would pick him also.
That is a very good pick, and I shall allow it.
All right. So Jefferson to Joel, Kelsey, Cup, Hill, and it falls to me. And I got to be honest, I'm surprised that anybody here is somebody I like. So if I'm allowed, I'm going to take Austin Eckler, who was very good last year. So if I'm permitted, Austin Eckler will be my pick.
I shall allow it.
All right. He's going to let us set the traps, kind of like I did last time. Let us fall into the trap. So Barkley, Bijan, Stephon Diggs, over to Zach for his first round pick.
You hear the Jaws musical theme in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And going into the turn, you just hear the music starting to
Gilly, you are lucky that Travis Kelce went off the board early, because you were going early tight end if
we had that discussion last time, because Zach was wanting Kelce and he was at 7. He went 6. I said, if you want Kelce, I will modify the draft because I can bring a lot of pain. You go Kelce round 1.
Yeah, no,
it's fun. It's fun.
All right, what do you think, Zach?
All right, so here at the turn, it's still the first round. A lot of it's pretty standard stuff at this point. No one's going to stray too far from ADP, whatever the site you're using may have. So I'm just going to follow suit. If I'm allowed, I'll take A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown. I like it. I'll allow it.
All right, he allows that one to go through. Chubb and Mahomes on the turn, force quarterback off the board at 201, and then back to Zach to build off of A.J. Brown with possibly whatever he wants. But
drafters have emerged round 1 unscathed.
Yeah, he's letting us set up the traps, I think.
I do have to say, I played the ADP game and I lost. I was actually hoping Nick Chubb would make it back to me, and Team 12 made sure that didn't happen. All that being said, still a lot of great options here at the first turn. Might as well see if I can go wide receiver heavy to start. Do that 0 running back strat. If I can, I would like to get Devontae Adams.
Oh, I love Devontae Adams. You can definitely make that pick.
Devontae Adams, Zach. Oh, I hear the creaking of the ropes as the trap gets pulled back a little further. Then it's CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Taylor, and Derrick Henry. I get to build off of Austin Eckler. And the question I have here is, do I go for a guy in the running back area that I really, really like, or do I try and build with a little bit of balance here? Because I'm pretty high on Amon-Ra, and I kind of think if I'm allowed, that's the pick I want to make is Amon-Ra St. Brown, trying to avoid burying my possibility of flexibility later.
That's a really interesting pick, but what I'd really like to hear is what pick Joel would like to make here.
Oh, Joel gets to bring the first mayhem of the draft for me. Cannot be Amon-Ra. That's the only stipulation. Again, try and stay close to ADP because turnaround is fair play in this one.
Yeah, I think
Ryan might want to go with a quarterback here. He might want to go RB heavy.
Hey, it's all Joel's pick.
what-
You gave
that's
him
what I
the
was
power.
I'm just trying to help.
I think I'll pick a running back that I know Ryan is trying to avoid and making him pick Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Josh Jacobs with the holdout kind of thing. That's a little dangerous. I will say if I was going to go running back there, my pick would have been Pollard, but I kind of didn't want to set the trap that heavy that early. I know you can really cause some problems if you let them. So I'm on Rob Brown, a great pick to team number 6. For some reason, I went right by him. Jalen Waddle and Tony Pollard to team 4. Joel back on the clock with Justin Jefferson in the fold so far.
And for my 210 pick, I would like to formally submit the name of one Ramondre Stevenson, if I might.
Ooh, Ramondre. I'll allow it.
Okay. So only one mayhem used so far, and that is Joel's pick against me. Jefferson and Ramondre for Joel back on the clock. Alan Harris, Mark Andrews, and Chris Olave going in the interim of these two picks. So Joel back on the clock. No mayhems used so far. The question is, where does he want to go now?
Normally, I think if this were standard, I would go probably WR, RB, QB. But in this case, having seen how much one tends to need to stack up and stock up on running backs for my third round pick, I'd like to formally submit my pick as Travis Etienne.
That is an interesting pick. However, being 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks are off the board already, I think you want to dive right in on Jalen Hurts here. So we're gonna give you the one of the top 3 quarterbacks to start out your team well-rounded.
Okay,
All right.
so I pick Jalen Hurts instead.
Yep, Jalen Hurts to Joel's team. That is the second mayhem used. Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, and Travis Etienne. All right, after the Eckler and Forrest Jacobs start, I am going to do my best here to try and balance out this team. There's still a lot of running backs I like as well. I do personally like having a good running back market, good running back stable. So if I'm forced that way, that's fine. But I'm wearing the jersey of one DK Metcalf. So I think I'm going to go that route if I'm allowed to take DK Metcalf with Seattle.
I think DK is a good fit for your team. I'll allow it.
DK to my roster. Devontae Smith, Breece Hall, Deebo Samuel back to Zach. AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, and who in round number 3?
Ooh, boy.
Oh, he's excited.
All right. Yeah, there's a couple of the second tier quarterbacks available right there at the top. If you're Joe Burrow, you're on Lamar Jackson, creeping up towards the Justins. All tempting, especially as I'm going to need someone to throw to my wide receivers, right?
In theory.
In theory. This is fantasy after all.
Yeah.
That being said, I also have no running backs, so playing this as I would any actual draft here, I'm going to take the potential upside on one Jahmyr Gibbs if I can.
I don't think we like that. Zero RB is a very popular strategy this year, so I think that's the direction we're going to head in. And we are going to take an upside shot on Calvin Ridley here.
Ooh, don't hate it.
All right.
So wide receiver start for Zach.
Heavy.
Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson going on the turn. Then it comes back to Zach.
And keep in mind, the voice from above wants you to go 0 RB.
Voice from above does. Rob down to one pick where he can bring Payne to, or help me in theory, but bring it to me.
Pain.
And then Zach and I both with the opponent's pick. Joel with one more opponent pick on Zach.
Yeah, I mean it's. I'm gonna test the hand of fate here, and I'm gonna go for Jahmyr Gibbs one more time since ADP allowed it.
You know, you got the value on it, so I'll let you have it.
Oh,
there we
Jahmyr
go.
Gibbs.
He is a merciful God.
Oh, I was definitely
Fortune-
hoping that he would shoot that one down. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Amari Cooper off
Fortune
the board
favors
next.
the bold.
I keep falling into this part in the fourth round where I'm only looking at a handful of names. I don't hate anybody on the board right now. I mean, Kenneth Walker, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, good options at the running back position. Keenan Allen was very good when he came back from the injury. DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, and both the Justin sitting right there. I found myself falling more and more into the going after Joe Mixon in the fourth round. So I'm going to try and go away from that to do something a little bit different if I'm allowed. And I'm going to go for one Keenan Allen.
Oh, that's an interesting pick. However, I think I'd like to hear what Zach would choose here.
Okay.
It's funny you say that because I was just hoping, I was just thinking in Ryan's position in the fourth round, Joe Mixon looked like such a great pick.
So is that what we were going with, Joe Mixon?
If I was you drafting at that position, I would take Joe Mixon.
We're going to go high testosterone here. I like it.
I think it's Joe Mixon. Again, that's been one of my favorite fourth round picks. I think there's value, but now I have three running backs. Only one more Mayhem left, but of course it is the merciful, hopefully God's pick coming up. So this could be a super high T team and all running backs. I understand that. Keenan Allen, another great pick to Team 6 that I don't know why I didn't go after. Then Justin Fields, Justin Herbert. So I think we've hit the quarterback ledge, unless you count Lawrence in that next top group.
You're welcome, Joel. I saved you from the quarterback ledge.
Sure did.
Yeah,
You
sort of climbing back up.
So
Yeah.
Joel, Justin Jefferson, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Hurts. Nice balanced start so far.
Have to add some more legs on the ground. And if I am permitted, I would like to submit for my next pick one, even though I know we talked about his upside and his downside on the previous podcast, I'd like to formally select Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker. I will allow it.
Okay. Joel, so far, a couple of mayhem still to come. Ken Walker goes to him, then DeAndre Hopkins, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, and DJ Moore as we go back to Joel in round number 5.
Definitely a pick that if they didn't fall to me, I'm not sure I would definitely reach out and grab, but they did fall. I know it's a pick that Brian definitely tends to like, so for my next pick, I would definitely like to request one Terry McLaurin.
I will allow it.
All right. Joel, still with a pick from me and a pick from Zach still to come. Goes with Terry McLaurin, Jerry Jeudy, Cam Akers, and Drake London off the board. And then it comes back to me with the Eckler, Jacobs, Metcalf, and Mixon starts. Only 2 of those picks for truly my own. But I'm not too unhappy with where we're at. Normally with a team like this, I'm going wide receiver, and they have Christian Watson. There is Chris Godwin. I think there's a little bit of risk with both. You don't know what's going on with Jordan Love. He looks good in camp. I got to say, Packers jersey over there. Jordan Love looks pretty good in the videos, so hopefully that pans out for you.
Okay.
Chris Godwin is produced with lesser quarterbacks in the past. Jameis Winston. So maybe he's going to be just fine. But for some reason, I kind of want to try something a little bit different than that. And I think I'm going to swing for possibly a positional advantage and take one Mr. George Kittle if I'm allowed here in round number 5.
Oh, I was actually going to chime in and take Kyle Pitts for you, but I'll allow Kittle.
Okay. I think I set myself up for a very bad awakening in the round 6, though. With that being said,
I would like to mention Ryan's comments. Famous Jameis was good for the other team.
Yes, he was very good. 30 and 30, just like you want. Pierce, Swift, and Kamara off the board after the Kittle pick. Going to Zach, adding into A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and Jahmyr Gibbs in round number 5.
In round number 5, we mentioned earlier the quarterback cliff. Most people have it right there with the Justins. Some people may lump in Trevor Lawrence with it. I am one of those people who do. With the Calvin Ridley stack possibility, I believe it was the merciful God's choice, directing me in a position to take Trevor Lawrence here at the end of the 5th round.
Well, unfortunately, you have upset your God by not going for a 0 RB build. So your current pick is going to Ryan, and your next pick is going to Joel.
Oh,
so, Ryan.
So we get the double up here.
You get the double up.
So he wanted a quarterback, and Trevor Lawrence is
unavailable.
Available, but you can't have him. I don't know if I want to go to that quarterback well for you this early. However, I am personally not a believer in Kyle Pitts, so I don't want to curse you that much. But what I really think is going to happen is I think Mike Williams is going to have a bounce back campaign. I think Herbert was hurt. I think Williams has a lot of upside, and I think he's going to be a great fit for your roster, Zach. Mr. Mike Williams.
All right.
Okay.
As we round the corner.
Wait, where the hell is he? I'm not seeing him.
He should be the very bottom of the on screen for that. Then there goes Godwin. So Zach, in theory, you have to make a pick before Joel does for you. So
I do.
Is it still Lawrence? Have you still upset your God?
I mean, I was bold enough before. I don't.
Hey, it worked with Gibbs. You got him the second time.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I have to say that I would still appreciate drafting Trevor Lawrence at the beginning of 6th.
Your God has been appeased, and I think I'm going to hold on to Joel's power up, and we're going to allow the Trevor Lawrence pick here.
All right.
Sweet.
The nice sacrifice of Mike Williams saved you to get Trevor Lawrence.
Damn, I had the
so many wide
quarterback.
receivers.
I had the perfect quarterback pick.
Oh, man. All right. Ayuk, Watson, and Madison off, not in that order. I was hoping Watson would come back. It was a long shot. However, at this point, I do feel like I need to go after a wide receiver at this point. Rob, you and I made a trade today for one Marquise Brown. I gave away T. Higgins, got a first-round pick, and Brandon Cooks went your way. So I like the deal, but I don't know if that's the way I want to go here because there is the quarterback concern. I'm going to take a shot on a wide receiver out of Jacksonville that had the role last year and go with Christian Kirk if I'm permitted.
I shall allow it.
Okay. So we'll go that route. I have Eckler, Jacobs, Metcalf, Mixon, Kittle, and Kirk. Joel back on the clock after a little bit of mini tight end run. Goddard and Pitts off the board. Dalvin Cook, who is still not signed. Then Joel with Jefferson, Stevenson, Hurts, Kenneth Walker, and Terry McLaurin now back on the clock.
Yep, as I know he's impressing in camp, and yeah, I'm looking at my depth. I need a tight end, so I would like to select Darren Waller if I am permitted.
Your team is a little too well-rounded, and I feel like we need to double up somewhere. So I'm going to kick this pick over to Ryan.
All right, so I have the power to take a pick here, and let's do an upside pick. The there's a lot of talk about, well, you got Justin Jefferson. That'd be kind of mean. But let's go with the rookie we talked about a few minutes ago in Jackson Smith-Njigba. A lot of buzz coming around this guy out of the draft. Might have been the best wide receiver in the draft this year. I didn't want to give – I would have went Addison, but the Jefferson stack with Addison's not wise. So let's try with the rookie Jackson Smith-Njigba here. As soon as you make the pick, we can
once
move on.
he can find him.
He's not that. He's only like 10 picks down the board.
Scrolling. I'm scrolling.
He's got an ADP of 80.5. We're on pick like 70, so he's not that far down.
If you throw it over to just the wide receivers, he's right at the bottom of the screen there.
You can't even find him. What
If you
pick
click
is he?
wide receiver, he's going to be the sixth one down.
He's number 80 right there.
Wide receiver?
Yeah,
Or
wide
tight end.
receiver. Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Good old JSN.
Antonio Brown is still considered WTF?
You're way
Oh,
if
you
you're
are
if
too
you're on
low,
Antonio
Julius.
Brown, you are far, far too low. You got to go right to the top of the wide receiver pool, and he's going to be the fifth or sixth option down.
Sorry, Jason Smith and Nick, but don't take any offense to that.
Jackson Smith-Njigba and Antonio Brown, guys.
I wonder.
There he goes. And of course, he gets the coveted wide receiver running back stack as well, so that's an extra bonus. Marquise Brown, Michael Pittman, Dak Prescott, and Tyler Lockett off the board. Back to Joel, who only has Zach that can cause him some pain from here on out.
Well, we'll try. Let's try it again like we did last summer, kids, but with a different twist, going Evan Engram this time for tight end, if I may.
Oh,
Right.
I shall allow it.
All right. Engram off the board. Mike Evans, Javonte Williams, Rashad White after that. Back to me. I feel like I've got this team somewhat balanced. And you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is if I could. I was going to give Jordan Addison because I made the upside argument. So if I may, I'm going to go for one Jordan Addison here.
I will allow it.
All right. You do still have a Mayhem against me. You get to make a pick. Joel has a pick against Zach, and Zach has a pick against Joel. I have no more picks I can make to cause chaos to other people's roster, only my own. Zach on the clock. Waller, Burks, and Montgomery off behind my pick of Jordan Addison. 7-11 to add to A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Mike Williams, and Trevor Lawrence. Zach is thinking of what here?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I gotta spell this out. I'm a bit relieved. I was hoping Darren Waller would make it all the way back to me. He didn't. That's fine. You know, no big deal. But I was also looking at potential running backs, seeing as if I have a weak spot, it's definitely there. And I saw David Montgomery coming up, and that would have been some extremely juicy mayhem if someone were to decide that, the Detroit running back stack is the way to go.
Hey, we saw Swift and Jamal Williams have some good chemistry last year. They would have worked out for you.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's not necessarily something I would have went for. That being said, I am looking at the running backs here at the end of the 7th round. You got Pacheco, Kansas City, James Cook in Buffalo, A.J. Dillon in Green Bay. At this point in the draft, I wouldn't necessarily consider it a running back dead zone, but it's definitely not where you're looking for an RB2 per se, more of like a flex. So I'm definitely behind the curve here. And if I had to take a pick, I would have to say I'm going to go for a little bit of potential upside in one hopeful pick of Zach Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet. I'll allow the rookie stack.
All right. So rookie starting running backs for Zach. Dotson and Pacheco off at the turn. So a lot of those options at running back still available for you if you choose to go that route.
Not here, at least not yet. Not of my own accord, anyways. Looking at what else is available, you got Pickens, Watson. Not that I need a quarterback. You have Pat Fryermuth, Kadarius Toney, Quentin Johnson, Gabe the Babe.
Oh, Gabe the Babe.
Footballers will
Yeah.
get it.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the Foot Clan. Now that I'm actually looking at it, I think I might try and get another running back here just for funsies.
All right.
And
some solid options out there still.
There's definitely some good options, and I could use the depth. If I have the option, I will go Rashad Penny.
I like it. It's allowed.
All right.
Sweet.
Rashad Penny would have been someone I considered at my next pick. James Cook, Deontay Johnson, Deshaun Watson off the board right before me. I got to be honest, there's a guy in this tier I was hoping would come back to me, and I know it's a pick that if I'm allowed to make it, our merciful God's going to enjoy, and that is one A.J. Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I shall allow it.
He's going to allow it. He still can mess with me. I guess I've just appeased him very well so far that he has not torched me on his own. Tua off the board, George Pickens and Kadarius Toney off the board. Back to Joel, who has a starter at every position and a flex ready.
I think it needs some more running back depth. So if I am permitted, I would like to select one Antonio Gibson.
I shall allow it.
All right. Fryermuth, Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis, and Jamal Williams off the board as it goes back to Joel in the 9th round.
Might be a little bit of a ADP reach, so I think we'll stick with what we have for ADP, and I would like to select to bolster my wide receiver depth one Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. I just traded for him
Part of the
today.
trade. Yeah,
Very interesting. I think Zach wants to make this pick, so I'm just going to kick it over to him.
You can see him over there squirming.
Well,
Yeah. Very well-rounded team so far. We already got a quarterback and a tight end.
And now that I'm really looking at it, there's not a lot of weakness, at least in numbers. You were going for Brandon Cooks, right?
That was the requested
the
pick that was
desired pick.
denied.
Gotcha. I think I might be a little merciful here.
Ooh,
Well, I guess it would be less merciful for
not
you.
so much.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping Zay Flowers would make it back to me, but I think he would also be a good addition to your team.
Rookie wide receivers to go along with Zach's rookie running backs. I like it.
Okay, so I draft Zay Flowers, right?
So Joel's going to pick up Zay Flowers. And I like it. Honestly, Zay Flowers was one of those people I was going to be considering if he got back to me. And
he definitely was making it to me then.
Well, I mean, it might have because there's still a chaos or mayhem that could have come against me.
It's time to pedal on to Ryan's pick.
Yeah, so Brandon Cooks, Quentin Johnson, and Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson would have been a pick here I was really interested in. I'm pretty well balanced. 4 running backs, 3 wide receivers. I got some upside with Addison. I'm feeling pretty good for a Mayhem draft so far. But now we get to the point, and I found like the middle of the 9th to the end of the 10th, there's just not a lot here I like. So, unfortunately, that means I really don't have an option I'm gravitating to. So, I'm going to take a shot, if I may, on the upside of rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson, get that possible leg ground game work. If I'm allowed to take him, I would like to take Anthony Richardson. Or is my merciful God not going to be so merciful anymore?
Well, you're not.
Okay.
I I'm going to be honest. I was really hoping you were going to go late round QB, and I think it's still a little early to give you Jordan Love, so I'm not going to do that to you.
Okay.
However, we are going to go for a little more experience here. We're going to throw Aaron Rodgers on this team.
I had a feeling that might be coming because we have talked about how I don't believe Aaron Rodgers is going to be what he was with Green Bay a couple years ago. So there was a part of me that's like, if I make this pick for Anthony Richardson, I'm getting Aaron Rodgers.
Does that mean now, Ryan, you're going to do a darkness retreat for the next week?
Oh, just on the inside. So that is the Mayhem's gone for me. The only one left is a Zach pick against Joel. So Zach back on the clock, 4 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and a quarterback. Still needs a tight end and still a few rounds to do with that.
Don't I have one against me as well?
Zach, you are the only one with a Mayhem left to be used against you. Joel's going to get one of your picks, but
right. Okay.
we shall see.
Gotcha.
And
All
before
right.
we get off of Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if anybody noticed my throwback jersey, but still repping my buddy.
All right.
Sorry, when we did our NFC North breakdown, I had the Green Bay jersey we wore to the Packers game on, so I was still repping the Aaron Rodgers. I don't hate him. He's a Jet, and that sucks. And I hope he's dead.
We're going to the preseason game next week down in New Jersey.
I can't imagine why Ryan would not like any Jets. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Still hoping I can go and boo the Jets and Aaron Rodgers in person in Buffalo in November, but I know that trip still needs some planning.
Nice. All right. So back to fantasy.
Back to reality.
Not going to be a lot of not going to be a lot of discussion here. It's just simply trying to keep my team balanced. I went heavy wide receiver, almost 0 running back to start. See if I can kind of do the same here in the middle and go virtually 0 wide receiver. If I can, I would like to pick one Samaje P. Ryan.
Samaje P. Ryan. Well, the reports on Javonte Williams are sounding pretty good, so I don't think we want to make that pick. We're going to kick this one over to Joel and finish up our Mayhems for the night. Joel, what do you think?
I'm going to go out with probably one of the best Mayhem picks because my question is, I have to wonder if Zach will get any points if Juju Smith-Schuster makes any social media videos because that's the selection I want to give. Juju Smith-Schuster.
The number 1 option for the New England Patriots. And then P. Ryan, which would have been a great pick for Zach, goes right after him. I don't know why I didn't do it. Khalil Herbert could be the starting running back for the Bears in the 10th round. Not a bad pick for Team 12. And then back to Zach. No more Mayhems. No more asking for permission. Try and fix yourself the best you can from here. Gibbs, Charbonnet, and Penny at running back is a little bit concerning, Zach.
Just a little bit. And unfortunately, I mean, we're 10 rounds in. It's not like there are any outstanding options left, not without some kind of pathway that requires a lot of skill and maybe even a little bit of luck.
Yeah, it's kind of gross at the running back options right now.
It really is. It really is.
This is when the Paul McCartney song with a little luck is playing in the background.
Exactly. If I'm going to be honest here, which I can be now that there's no Mayhem.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want now.
I can literally do whatever I want. I don't know. It's a good thing you gave me 10 minutes to think about this.
Like I said, that 10th round, for whatever reason to me, it's a complete dead zone. You've got too many injuries, too many suspended guys in Jameson Williams, a couple quarterbacks, a couple tight ends. That just nothing there is exciting to me.
Nothing extremely exciting and promising. Like there's the buzz of some excitement. Bateman coming back, Elijah Moore potentially coming out. Will Odell Beckham be any good? But those are all question marks. And if I'm gonna address any kind of situation that we're dealing with a question mark, it may as well be where I could use the most help, which is still, believe it or not, in the running back room. Here I will be taking Tyler Algier.
Ooh. Tyler Algier still on the Falcons, in injury away. Then Kirk Cousins, that Williams, the one that's suspended
Jameson.
for gambling. Jameson Williams. There's so many J Williams in the damn
There's
league.
so many Williams.
Jameson Williams suspended for gambling. Then Cortland Sutton. Getting back to me, you mentioned the name Rashad Bateman. I was very happy he got back to me. I do think he's got the number one receiver for the Ravens potential. It might be Zay Flowers. I don't think it's going to be Odell Beckham. So since there's no power-ups to hurt me, I'm going to take Rashad Bateman as my wide receiver 4. And I think that gives me at least someone I could start in spots and be happy with. Elijah Moore, Alan Lazard, the bum on the freaking Jets. Geno Smith, and back to Joel.
I love Ryan's commentary there.
Oh,
Just watch Hard Knocks, man. You get pumped up.
I don't want to watch the Jets.
Oh, it's so good, though.
Maybe that'll be right. The last place for if Ryan, he'll have to watch Hard Knocks for a marathon.
I mean, if I'm going to watch it, I don't have HBO because I don't spend the monies on the HBO. But if I was going to do it, I would want to wait till it was over and just kind of shotgun the whole thing. But I don't know.
That's when you. See, for my picks, as we're talking pretty much depth and dart throws at this point, I'd like to select for my 10th round pick one Dalton Schultz, hoping that he still has some of the flashes of brilliance still in him.
Yeah, no more mayhem. So Joel, it's all you. You can pick whoever you like. Then Damian Harris, Daniel Jones, Chig Okonkwo, Elijah Mitchell, and back to Joel in round number 11. 3 picks left, no positions needed to address. Zach is the only one that with a position of need still to draft, with a tight end still wide open for him.
All right, I know it's depth, so helps if you put the right thing, Dwayne.
Jerick McKinnon was pretty good last year. Cole Kmet, Dalton Kincaid, and Adam Thielen off the board before my pick. All right, I am perfectly balanced. 4 wide receivers, 4 running backs, a quarterback, and a tight end. I think I know who I'd like to get a little bit later, so I'm going to take a chance on some upside here, and I'm going to take.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that heard that.
I was trying to play it off. Damn it! I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take a shot here on Sky Moore of the Kansas City Chiefs. Someone's got to be the number 1 receiver. I mean, who knows if it's going to be Sky Moore, but I'll take the chance.
Following program is intended for mature audiences only.
And I said, hey, I mean, I think I was accurate in what I misspoke and said, too, here, because there's a chance he's an absolute turd.
Absolutely.
Anyways, after my scat
FCC violation.
Yeah. Odell Beckham, Kendrick Miller, Jim.
Or like a
And Myers off
Demolition Man, you have been fined 1 credit for violation of the morality code.
Zach on the
One
clock.
whole credit.
Whole credit. Still needs a tight end. Other than that, wide open.
And as you just mentioned, all I really need is a tight end. There's only one left on the board that I have any real confidence in that has the potential at least to have one game where they could be a star. I'm not saying that that's the only option, but Greg Dulcich flashed last year at points, and I'm willing to go in and see what he can do this year as well.
All right. Greg Dulcich off the board, then Jared Goff and Tyler Boyd. Back to Zach. 2 picks left on a team of A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Mike Williams, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyler Algier, and Greg Dulcich.
So happy with that pick.
Oh, it's one of the best ones in the draft so far, I think. Juju on a team that is so low T.
Yeah.
What could go to the doctor?
What could go wrong? Here, it's like Joel mentioned earlier. It's all dart throws at this point. We've seen flashes with Devin Singletary in Buffalo. I'm willing to take a shot on him in Houston. It's just that simple.
Probably the backup to Damian Pierce, but they brought him in for a reason. He could have some upside. All right, round number 12. I'm going to take a shot on Raheem Mostert. Right now listed on the depth chart as number 1 for the Dolphins. Running back 5. He's got some upside. He's probably going to get hurt, but he's had some good play, so I'll take a shot there. Tyler Higbee, Russell Wilson, Rashee Rice, then back over to Joel. Team of Justin Jefferson, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Hurts, Kenneth Walker, Terry McLaurin, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Evan Engram, Antonio Gibson, Zay Flowers, Dalton Schultz, and Jerick McKinnon.
Let's see, my next dart throw. Let's see, no Carolina. Arizona, I don't think so. Don't need a quarterback when it's this many teams. So I think we'll go with a tight end.
Upside of Sam Laporta. I think you went off of auto.
Yeah, we got a little more mayhem here. I am coming in to steal this draft.
Okay.
I know I already got 2 quarterbacks, but we need to fix this roster.
Okay.
So we're gonna throw some Jordan Love on there, and
We all
his
love that.
number 2 receiver, who should not be available in the last round of drafts.
Shouldn't be.
So
Possibly it was going to be someone I considered. Still a lot of garbage on the on the draft board as Mingo, Rashawn Johnson, Jalen Ward, Kyler Murray, which was actually a pick I was hoping kind of fell to me because Aaron Rodgers is old. He could get hurt. He's had some injuries in the last couple of years. I was hoping maybe he got back to me, but unfortunately in this case he did not.
Bingo, wasn't that the planet in the Flash Gordon movie?
I'm not sure. It could be. Oh boy, it gets real bleak real fast at this point of a draft. Let's see. 5 running backs, 5 receivers, perfectly balanced, so I can go either way. Let's go with the spot starter of Zay Jones. He had his moment. No, we're not going to do that because I already got a Christian Kirk. I don't want to do that super stack. Caught my mistake before I made it this time. In that case, what rookies are available? Anybody want to have some upside on? No, not really. Jeez. God, it gets bad real fast in this, doesn't it? Let's...
Sort of like spring training, minor league guy.
All right. I'm going to go Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I know I have Sky Moore. I'm going to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Maybe he's more valuable than I'm thinking. But last round of the draft, if he ends up getting 40, 50% of the work, he could be worth a roster spot. And if not, easy to cut him first week this season. Bryce Young, Gerald Everett, Michael Mayer, and then Zach with his last pick, and we'll wrap up the draft here shortly.
Yes, and not taking too much time with the last one, just looking at the names right there at the top, who's the potential of doing anything at this point is anyone's guess. Word I've heard out of training camp over in Dallas, Michael Gallup is building quite the rapport with Dak Prescott, regardless of how they scheme their offense, whether it's more run-heavy, pass-heavy, blah, blah, blah. The potential is there. I'm going with Michael Gallup.
All right, so that is the draft. All merciful God who tried to ruin our days. Which of these teams do you like best? Which one do you think handled the mayhem best? And I guess your favorite torture that you gave to us?
Well, I was too kind to Joel, I think. I think I let Joel establish a solid beginning to his team. So next time I'd like to torture him a little more. And my favorite pick, of course, was giving you Aaron Rodgers, who saved your garbage roster. And Zach, I really like your team. I kind of wish you had committed to the 0 RB and gone all the way through, but we did what we could.
Yeah,
I hear you.
So a lot of fun. I like this team. If I ended up with this in the draft, I wouldn't be too upset. But yeah, it's tough when people are putting players on your roster that you're not necessarily going after. So hopefully everybody had fun, learned a little bit something, even if it is that Rob is sometimes merciful and sometimes he is not so nice. But all that being said, we'll do another one of these probably next week if we can get everybody together. But yeah. So for Rob, Zach, Joel, and I, that was Mayhem draft number 2, a little bit different than the first one. And yeah, it was fun. Anything you guys want to say before we head off?
0 RB is very stressful. I know it wasn't complete 0 RB, and of course it was Mayhem as well, but I really felt like after just halfway down the draft board, all I was looking at was running backs. It was how am I going to fix this? And then if I were looking at this roster going into the season, I automatically know I'm going to be looking at the waiver wires every single week, hoping that I get that spot start running back that just takes the reins due to injury or something ridiculous like that in the hopes of making any real attempts in the running back room.
Yeah, it was fun giving you Mike Williams in the 5th round when I had the power. I got to admit that might be my favorite pick that I gave you. Jackson 5th and Jigba I enjoyed giving to Joel as well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys just made sure I had wide receivers. I can't be mad about it.
Our God said we want you to go 0 RB. You didn't listen, and I said, well, we got to get back on the Lord's path. I mean, there's a reason we have to repent our sins and go back to the Lord in this case. And he said 0 RB. I was inclined to listen, and it was a lot of fun making you go closer to 0 RB than I think you wanted to do.
Allah started, you have to go, hallowed are the Ori.
Yeah. Joel, any final thoughts on this draft?
I'm not sure which one I enjoyed more of my Mayhem picks. I think I enjoyed the Juju Smith-Schuster pick.
That was a good one.
Just slightly more than the Josh Jacobs pick, but it was definitely fun, and I had a blast.
That one felt the most toxic.
Yeah. And final thoughts from our God. Are you looking forward to being a receiver of pain down the line?
Well, I just hope you remember the times I was nice to you and forget the times I was.
I will say this. The fact you didn't make your pick against me until round number 9, I think is fairly gracious. So I really, when I'm saying the merciful God thing, I can't be too upset. I mean, Zach gave me someone in the 4th that I usually target. I wanted to try a different strategy. Didn't get to do it. And Jacobs it's not the pick I would have wanted in the 2nd round, but it's fine. It's not bad. But yeah, so if I have the power, it might be a little more merciful than someone like Zach, who is on deck to have the power next. So
I keep imagining somebody like He-Man, you're raising up the sword. I have the power.
I have the power. All right, so for everybody here, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you for joining, all 3 of you, and Rob for torturing us, because it's a lot of fun to get tortured in these. Learned a lot.
2nd time, I can officially say it is always fun.
Yes. And with that, we go.